Ooh, yeah, you search me, oh, your glory. There's none greater still. You surround me, oh, your glory. Abba, have your will. You are all I need, everything to me. Yahuwah, my King, have your way in me. You surrounded me, all your glory. Yahuwah, my King, have your way in me. Ooh, ooh, have your way in me. Ooh, ooh, have your way in me. Yeah, you search me, oh, your glory. There's none greater still. Ooh, you surround me, oh, your glory. Abba, have your will. Yeah, yeah, and you are all I need, everything to me. Yahuwah, my King, have your way in me. You surrounded me, oh, your glory. Yahuwah, my King, have your way in me. Ooh, ooh, have your way in me. Ooh, ooh, have your way in me.
I love it. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, wow, you're listening to
Ooh,
Michael Ross, Have Your Way. Wow, didn't that have a nice little, it's one of those music have you swaying from side to side as you reflect on Have Your Way in Me. Wow, what beautiful melodious sounds and words from Michael Ross. You know what? Normally I would put my glasses on and read a bio. I was messing with him before we came on the air. I said, shoot, I I can really do that by heart. I don't even need my glass. Let me put these glasses down. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this young man who you were just hearing that song, and I could just picture, I'm like, I could be sitting in the rocking chair or swaying back and forth and just saying, Lord, have your way in me. Wow, this is one of those songs it's like a reflection song, and you're just, and it's just resonating in your spirit. Lord, have your way. And I don't need my glasses because I don't need this bio. I done memorized already, y'all. Let me tell you, the person who we are about to introduce right now is a singer. He is a songwriter. And as you can hear, he is a guitarist as well as a recording artist. Please help me welcome with a warm virtual round of applause to Michael Ross. Woo! Hey, Michael.
Hi, hello.
You know I'm messing with you, but I said I can memorize this bio. I love it. I love it. And
Thank
you
you.
know, sometimes it doesn't take a whole long page to just share, what God is doing through your life. You're a singer, a songwriter, a guitarist, and a recording artist. And beautiful melodious song that you have
Thank you.
blessed this world with. Wow, have your way. Tell us about it. Have
Uh,
your way. How did that song come about?
so basically, uh, rough times. I think kind of got me. A lot of us are going through rough times, especially now with all this going on. And it's one of those things where I kind of felt like, you know, in spite of all that we're going through, Father, just have your way.
Mm.
Because we can't. We get into this habit of thinking that we can control we control everything, but in essence, the Father does control it all. So He knows all that's going on. So in other words, it's more of a I surrender song. I surrender it all to you. Just have your way. Yeah, Father, you just do whatever it is that you do.
So you wrote this song during the global pandemic?
Just before it. Just before it. I think
Wow.
just right before it, and I think it was just kind of it seemed to work right before the pandemic. I wrote it, and then it just flowed actually. That especially during the beginning of it, it just kind of flowed that way.
Now I need to pull that the album back up, because I was staring at your album. I was like, is the road going through his head? Let me see. Wait, let me let the audience. Wait a minute. Hold on, I can't let this one go past. I need to pull this one back up because I need our audience to see what I saw. I'm just going to pause it there because I was looking like, hold up. And I didn't have my glasses on. So I said, well, maybe it's my eyes. Let me pull this back up. Okay, you have to share it. Okay, now explain. And I said, well, without my glasses, it looks like the road is going through your nose and your mouth. Okay, tell us what's going on here. What is going on with this?
So basically, I wanted to do something that was a little different. I've never been. It kind of looks like Arizona to me, maybe, but I've never been. So I mean, I kind of thought that would be. I kind of pictured myself walking down this road, and so I literally put a picture of myself, like with a guitar, as the album cover, and I thought it was pretty cool.
Oh, that's a guitar. Okay, let me put my glasses back on. Okay, wait a minute. So on the side of you, that's okay. And then the road, that is very creative. I see now. And that looks like where we live. We're in the desert. We're in Las Vegas, Nevada. It looks like Nevada or Arizona. They're like right next door. And okay, I get it now. And so you kind of picture yourself walking down okay.
Right.
And then so the road, that is very creative. And then tell us about the Michael at the back. Because again, you messed me up this morning because I wasn't sure about my eyes and the glasses. I said, now is that Michael? I didn't know what was going on with my eyes this morning. And tell me what am I looking at with the Michael going? What are you doing down there?
Actually, it wasn't an error, but it was more so the way the album art actually showed. It was supposed to be a mirror of the name. It's supposed to be kind of like it's supposed to be like a mirror of my name, but the art didn't actually show up the way I wanted it to. But by that time, it was just I kind of figured, let's just go ahead and print it and see what it comes out, see how it turns out, and that's kind of how it turned out.
Okay, I love it. All right, cool. Well, thank you for that. I was trying to figure out what was going on. That really helped. I feel better knowing it's not my eyes and that it was intentional and I can really see pretty good. So that's good. Now, what's going on for 2021? What are you doing? What is God showing you? You have any plans for 2021 with your music? Or what are you doing in this season? Because we're still in the pandemic. We're still in the pandemic. So what's going on the East Coast with God and you this year?
Well, so basically, I am back in the studio in another week and a half, recording my second song. It's called "I'm in Need of Prayer." So that's another one that's coming. That one I wrote during the pandemic. So. But that one is definitely it's that one it's more of a so it's an acoustic song, but I'm also adding other instruments to it. So I'm adding I'm hearing more of an orchestra behind me in this one, because I kind of feel like it would be more fill the song up more. But I think I'm actually hearing piano and violin and cello. I'm hearing those in addition to the guitar. So that's my next song. And actually, I have a third song that I'm working on as well. The third song is actually with my uncles. So I grew up in Boston, Massachusetts, and in the projects, and my uncles used to do harmony in the hallway. In the projects with acoustics. In the hallway, you kind of hear that a lot, and it was definitely inspiration. They used to like do a lot of like doo-wop songs and Temptations and all that, and that definitely encouraged me. So I talked to them, and they're on board with it. So we're gonna do a song together, actually. So definitely excited about that.
Wow, sounds exciting. Are you finding that you're getting a lot more done during this pandemic time? Like, were you as productive in music prior to the pandemic, or has this time actually been a blessing for you?
Honestly, I think it's definitely been a blessing because in a sense, because it's caused me to actually, it's actually not just me, it's caused a lot of people to actually find out what their calling is and actually just do it, as opposed to hunting and pecking, looking for another job and the next, what are we going to do next, and panicking. Going back to your roots and finding out what is it that you actually want to do, and how can you make your mark in this life. And I want to be able to make my mark through my music and be able to share it with other people. So and I've always had a love for music since I was, very young. And the guitar's new. So I started playing by ear. So I've only been playing for about maybe 6 years, but as far as the actual like writing songs with the guitar, that's actually about maybe 8 months old. I've only been doing that for about 8 months.
Wow. So which is during the pandemic time,
right,
basically.
Right.
As I'm finding so many people are really being productive, especially those with gifts. As I interview artists, and I'm finding that those with gifts really are unearthing the wealth that God has placed inside of them. The treasure of their gifts are now coming alive,
right.
And which is a beautiful thing. And has this pandemic, COVID-19, impacted you in any other way other than music? Have you been affected with loved ones or with family or church, or like, are you guys shut in? Are you able to go to church? Like, how is it where you are?
We don't actually go out a whole lot anyway. I mean, my full-time job is I'm an Uber driver. So I mean, I got a lot of stories. So but I aside from what I do, my family pretty much stays at home. So I'm pretty much the only one that goes out and
And do you have that time in your vehicle that says no mask, no service? No mask, no shoes, no shirt, no service.
Yeah, well, pretty much. I mean, I just tell people they got to have a mask on. I'd rather, just to be on the safe side. Uber does definitely. They strongly, we have to wear one. So I mean, and the passenger should also wear one as well. So we try to, I try to, let people know that, hey, I appreciate if you wear one, and leave it at that.
Was there ever a time when you had to be out of work, like when it first started and people were trying to figure out what's what? Was there ever like a halt time in that industry, or no?
For about maybe 2.5, 3 weeks.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, but then they kind of, because they did a shutdown here in Virginia, and nobody wasn't going anywhere. So a couple weeks we had to kind of stay home, and then as soon as that ended, everybody kind of, now it's kind of back to normal. Not normal, but it's back to nobody wants to stay put. So it's
what about like the food? Like I noticed California and here, miles of people in line for food, and like with rent, can't pay rent. Are you guys impacted in terms of your economy there at all, or no?
I mean, yes, we are. I mean, but it's more so
normal.
I don't think it's. I mean, I pretty much just see people. It here, from what I see, people are carrying on like nothing's happening.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I've met several people from other states here last night. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That's interesting. And I just saw, I was on the internet. I was like, wow, was that Vegas? I saw pictures of our city. People were out in droves like
Yeah.
no other New Year's Eve. And I thought, oh my goodness, no
Yeah.
social distancing in there. But some did have masks on, but there were thousands and thousands. So, I live in a place where we have a strip. So of course, people came in the masses and all that. So I was just curious. I know we're kind of off base here with the music, but just curious whenever I talk to our East Coast family or someone, just seeing, are you guys experiencing the same kinds of things? Because I'm finding this is where our artists and different people are those that are stuck at home are really unearthing that gift, as we were talking about before, because they're forced to stay home because they can't go out and do all of that. And I'm happy to hear you working on your next song. That is exciting.
Yeah.
And you want to give us a little sneak preview into what's to come or what we should expect, not to sing it, not necessarily, but I mean, like, what should we expect from that? Like another exciting album cover, or what? Do you already see the album cover for that? Or what can we expect for your album this year?
Actually, the album, I'm trying to finish the album hopefully by late March, but the album cover is going to change because I want to do something like it, because this will be my first one. I want to definitely take an actual picture of me versus that was an actual picture, but that was more of I'd like to take an actual, actual picture so you see the gray in my beard a little bit. So, but yeah, so it's I've got so far I've got quite a few songs that I'm working on. So, but I'm trying to make it. I've got 8, so I'm trying to make it 10. But we'll see. I'm still working on writing, so I've got a lot going on. Just trying to get back in the studio and finish this project because it's been a long time. I've been like I said, I've been singing for a long time. Used to be in a singing group as a kid, so back in the day in the 90s. But I've actually written songs way back in the 90s, and I kind of came across one of them, and they were like bubblegum drop lyrics. So, but
wow, that's crazy. And so let me ask you a last question before I let you go here, because I usually ask our artists, because we all have a story. And we use this as our touchstone testimony time. I usually close with this last question, and then we'll turn it over to you for any special shout outs and let folks know how they can find you on social media. But for my last question, can you finish the sentence? I will never forget when blank. I'll never forget when blank. And before you answer that, it is designed to be a point of reference as a testimony to God's grace, His mercy, His power, any of those that that thing, whatever you're going to share, was nobody but God did that thing. So that's your I'll never forget when question. I'll never forget when blank.
That's a good question. Let's see.
And the good part about this is nobody's answer is ever alike. So even though the question, everybody has their own. So you like when you look back, you say, wow, nobody but God did that thing. And whatever it is that you can share that you don't mind being public, but and it doesn't have to be a long drawn out drama, whatever. It can be whatever God puts in your spirit, if anything. But if I'll never forget when, as you touchstone and reflect, because like with the children of Israel and they put those stones, the reason they say touchstone is because it was a place of reminder that I'll never forget that the Lord brought me over out of Egypt, out of bondage into, basically crossed over the Jordan River. And so that place of remembrance, and they had to go back and put stones there as that place of touchstone, remembering God's goodness. So what is your touchstone? I'll never forget when blank.
I think for me it would be I'll never forget the reason why I fell in love with music. And I mean, seeing again, growing up, seeing my uncles and how they would always like harmonize in the hallway, and it was kind of that thing. It really stuck with me, and even as a kid. So I think for me, that's something that I'll never forget. And just seeing how, like even now, they've actually since then they've also joined the church also, and they're singing at their church. So they live in Boston, Massachusetts, and I live in Virginia. So I mean, we do connect every now and again, but I think for me, it's never forgetting where I came from.
Got it. Got it. And any special shout outs? We broadcast over 150 countries. Do you have any special shout outs to anyone anywhere in the world?
My mother. Boston, Massachusetts.
I love it. That's always the best answer. Always the best answer. Hey, Mom. Always the best answer. All right. Any final comments as we bring this interview to a close? And it's been such a pleasure. And thank you for reminding us all to allow the Lord to have his way. Any final comments? In fact, we're going to go off on your song.
That'll work.
Any any final comments?
None at all. I'm good. Thank you.
What? No special. This is the time when you have special comments and it lets me cue up your song. It lets me cue it up. I still have it up, so it's good. We're going to play a little bit. We'll go out towards the end. How can our audience find you on social media? How can they find you on social media?
Have your way in me.
I'll turn it down so they can hear you. How can our audience find you on social media or YouTube or however you want them to find you?
You're breaking up, actually.
Let me pause it for a second. I was asking, how can our audience find you on social media? Those that want to follow you or follow your music, how can they find you?
Oh, okay. So on Facebook, it's called Pray for Change. That's what I'm entitling the album is probably, and it's going to be called Pray for Change. So that's what I'm entitling the album, and you'll see the same album art with the double Michael on there, but it's just one. But yeah.
Right. Thank you. And thank you so much, Michael, for joining us. And you're just tuning in, you're listening to Michael Ross, Have Your Way. And you can find him, as he just said, on social media. We're going to go off so you can hear a little bit of Have Your Way. I'll pull us off the screen so there's no breaking up, and we'll turn it over and we'll go out on the rest of Have Your Way by Michael. In this case, Michael, the double Michael. All right, here we go.
Have your way in me. Have